All right. It's a hump day. We got something special in store. We just getting it started here. What's up, everybody? You there? I see ya. All right, let's kick it off here. We're going to start with some Waffle Radio. Let's go.
Wednesday morning, alarm clock rings. Gotta get up, do my own things, jump out of bed. Feeling kinda weak, just one question gotta ask the week. Head to the office, it's a typical day, but there's something special I gotta say. The break room's buzzing, the mood is high. Waffle giveaways, gotta reach the sky. Mike, it's the middle of a week, hump day vibes, but the rhythm speak, building PC, staying in my zone. Two-pin syrup, tripping, feeling so alone, feeling so alone.
Loving hump day from morning till the night. Saying Mike, call to the day. Reggae beats got me feeling this way. Waffle giveaways, there's a party in town. Stack 'em up high, gotta gobble 'em down. Camels in the kitchen, flipping them hard. Serving up love, spreading smiles a lot. Building PCs, it's a tech paradise. Day two, we're streaming day and night. Camels in the spotlight, chatting with me, spreading good vibes, come vibe with me.
It's Wednesday. Hump day. Mike. What day is it, Mike? All right, baby, your Waffle Wednesday has begun. Exclamation mark a waffle for your chance to win. We'll be getting started here real soon. Stay tuned.
Custom cooling, that's the clue. Waterworks will make it flow. Tech workshops where I'll go. Waffles by my side, we build. Prize will give dreams fulfilled. Techies rise with glowing pride. In the desert, tech will ride. Hardware glints and sand beneath. Camel's vision, pure belief. Fans that spin light up the night. Power surges running bright. Waffles by my side, we build. Prize will give dreams fulfilled. Techies rise with glowing pride. In the desert, tech will ride. Waffles by my side, we build. Prize will give dreams fulfilled. Techies rise with glowing pride. In the desert, tech will ride. Hardware glints and sand beneath. Camel's vision, pure belief. Fans that spin light up the night. Power surges running bright. Waffles by my side, we build. Prize will give dreams fulfilled. Techies rise with glowing pride. In the desert, tech will ride. Emerald desert, tech will ride. Listen, bites all come alive. Thermaltake's the way we strive. Building wonders, stuffed and cold. In our workshop, stories unfold. stories unfold. Jump into my feet, let me make.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful Waffle Wednesday. How is everybody doing today? What is going on, fam? What up, what up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so much for the anniversary love, man. 4 years, baby. Let's go. 4 years here with Thermaltake Live, man. Thank you guys so much. We got a special guest here today. I think you guys might know what's going on. We're going to have some fun today, so look forward to it. And, don't leave hungry. Grab yourself a waffle. Type !waffle right there in the chat. You'll get confirmation on your entry. And you can double down by visiting our YouTube live as well and get, some extra stacks of waffles there. I think that's always a pretty good thing to get, you know what I mean? We'll have some prizes coming up. Maybe something special, too. You're just going to have to stay tuned to find out what we got going on with that one. Mo says, hey, will an RTX 4080 gigabyte Aero fit in the TR100 case? It should. The case supports up to 360 millimeters in length. So double check those specs on that gigabyte card, man. You should actually be surprised. It fits a good amount. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. But all right, let's go ahead. Every time. That's right. Let's go ahead and get some of our other stuff. Let me see where I'm at here with this. We good? All right. Okay. My volume good here. Turn that down. Turn that down just a little bit. Just a little bit. And welcome in, everybody. We have both of us here today. What's up, Jacob?
Good.
Dude, thank you so much, man, for coming out.
I'm so excited. I got my own waffle.
We got waffles.
I'm so excited.
Ooh, I'm always excited to share a waffle with a fellow techie.
I think it might be frozen now.
Oh, really? Well, give it a little bit. We'll give it a little bit. We'll let it cook for a little, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. How's the audio picking up? Is everything good, guys? How is everybody doing? You got the waffles. Yes, that's right.
Frozen waffles are good for overclocking.
They, you could use it as like a heat sink.
This could be your thermal interface material.
This could literally be, that's something we should actually test.
We should test that, yeah.
We should test that. That should be that. See, fun things already coming up. Fun things already coming up here. So today we have a special episode here celebrating our 4-year anniversary, and it actually kind of lined up with what me and Jacob kind of pre-planned, and I don't know why it just worked out. Who would know that it worked out that way? But either way, we're super excited to have Jacob here. He's a busy guy. He's a busy guy, everybody, and we're glad to have him here from NVIDIA. We're going to be talking about 50 series things. I have some cardboard here on the table, and of course we have our travel case that we finished wrapping up here this month, the new TR100 case, and it was a lot of fun. This is like one of the first times I've gotten to build an SFF, like a true SFF case.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff's like giant fish tanks, like most of the
Honestly,
time.
like most of the systems I'm building these days are small form factor, or like either mini ATX or micro ATX. It's been a while since I've built like a full size ATX system.
Like a big boy.
Yeah.
A big boy. And I've seen you over the years. That like the wet bench style, like the open frame kind of thing. That's been like a
if
thing.
you look at the last like 20 years of me building PCs, I think they've continually gotten smaller. I think.
Really? Really? I was gonna say, did you ever put anything in a case?
Yeah. I mean, I do builds like not for myself, but for others and stuff. Definitely in cases, but my own like personal build. I mean, I typically go with like the open air style. You know, just I don't know. It's easy.
Well, you're a tinkerer, and you like to upgrade a little bit. We don't want to get no case panels in our way when we want to swap out parts. Because I definitely feel you on that with the upgrade stuff, and definitely a big fan as well. What was it? Somebody said, Is that really Jacob or is it frame generation? I don't know. You guys will be the judge to see. He could be just all AI, guys. I mean, we have the card here. Maybe we're using it on the stream right now, and we're just generating Jacob. That'd be some fun stuff. But yeah, no, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here on a special Waffle Wednesday.
I like that, Jacob Frame Man.
Jacob Frame. Hey, that's a good one, man.
I'm gonna use that.
Hey, that's like a, you know, the next game. That's like your next game character kind of thing, you know. Be the Frame Man. That's actually pretty funny. It works out really well. But hey, just quick little shout out, by the way, to Sami Blue coming in with the 8 months. Electric Yoshi for the 5-stream streak. Let's go, and thank you guys so much as well for all the followers, as well as Phil coming in with that 18 months, dog. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Our waffle is going on, so for a lot of you guys coming in that may or may not know what we do, we offer a weekly giveaways. If you want to participate, type !waffle in the chat. We're going to be eating some here in a little bit, and we're going to be talking tech and all the latest stuff. So I think one of the things that you know, when we always, every time we got a graphic card launch, right, there's always that whole idea of like, all right, is it gonna be bigger? Is it gonna be small?
Yeah.
How much power is it gonna need? What are the new features it's gonna offer? Like, you know, there's a lot of hype, right? There's a lot of hype on that stuff. We have the latest. This is the GeForce RTX. We have the 5090. Yep. Look, there's a 9 right there, guys. I have not touched one of these myself.
Yeah.
This is a pretty amazing card that we have right here. And of course, we have our travel case that we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be putting that in there. We're gonna put it to the test. You know, check out some of the features, and of course we got Mr. Freeman here, Jacob Frameman, Jacob Frameman here. He is
moo.
And then we got some moose.
Wow.
Cheers to you, Moo. Thank you so much. And then we got some stuff. We're gonna be slapping that in here. We got some testing we're gonna do. You know, show them some of the cool new features.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite blown away with a lot of the DLSS 4 support. And I first and foremost want to say thank you for thinking of us that have like 30 series and you know, and even 20 series cards for some of these new improvements, because it actually is a pretty drastic change.
There's a lot more. I mean, obviously the RTX 50 series is brand new. There's a whole lineup of cards that we're gonna talk about, but there's a whole lot more to it as well with DLSS 4. There's actually a lot to talk about with DLSS 4.
There is a good bit to talk about.
A lot of people think of DLSS 4 as being frame generation or multi-frame generation, but it's actually a lot more than that. So yeah, excited to talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, where do we want to start here? Do we want to maybe kind of talk a little bit about like the before and after? Like, you know, what we kind of migrating from.
One of the things that you asked about, you know, like if we talk about the RTX 50 series, you know, is it bigger? Is it smaller? You know, well, you can take a look. Here's the RTX 4080. This is a 4080 Super right here.
That's a big boy.
This card is actually the same size as a 4090. Same size.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You can see it's pretty big. It's a big card.
It's a thick card though too. It's not just necessarily like the lengthwise and everything. I mean, I've seen some bigger NVIDIA cards out there, you know what I mean? But I mean, as far as the thickness, I think at least for us here at Thermaltake, you know, as a case manufacturer trying to accommodate, you know, those changes and everything, it's always something, it kind of inspires you to get like something different, you know, or like maybe it's gonna kind of change where the case is. I mean, I think we focused a lot on, you know, graphic card enclosure space, but for a good reason, right? We want the performance and we want you guys to have, you know, the proper spacing, you know, as well as for the cooling, not just the power delivery, right? It's got to function properly in there.
So actually last year we came out with, and you guys are a part of this, we came up with a set of guidelines for small form factor, high performance small form factor PCs. And we call it GeForce Small Form Factor Ready. Yeah. And we built these guidelines for like, you know, what a card, you know, we said a maximum height, length, and width for a card to fit into these guidelines, so that it just makes it easier when you go and buy a system that you know the graphics card going to fit in there. And you guys have a bunch of cases that's on that list. This card actually does not fit into that form factor.
Oh, really? And it's not necessarily the length, right? It's more about the width of the card?
It's the width of the card, yes. It does not fit into that form factor.
Yeah.
Some of the other cards do, the like 4070, 4060 do. This card in particular does not. So when we went to design the 5090,
let's take a look at
with
this.
a different approach. So let's do an unboxing here.
Let's do,
Here's-
dude.
Here's the box. This is the Founders Edition. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of different from all the add-in board partners. You know, there's going to be bigger cards, smaller cards. You know, there's going to be 3 fans, 2 fans. You know, there's going to be a whole bunch of different variety with the form factor that you can get. But specifically talking about the Founders Edition card, this card. I don't know if this comes up on camera, but I mean, just look.
Look at that. As they say, yeah, put them side by side like this. Look at this difference, guys. Now that's a pretty big improvement for efficiency right there. You guys cut it in half.
It's like half the size. Yeah, this is a 575 watt card,
That's crazy.
and it's dual slots, like a true dual slot.
It's actually a dual slot. Not to say that you guys have said like it's a dual slot and then they try to like spin it like 2.5 or even like they're like almost 3, but they're just gonna say it's a 2 slot. This actually is a 2 slot.
Yeah, sometimes what you'll see is a card may say dual slot and they're talking about the PCIe bracket, where it may overhang a little bit. This one actually is like a true dual slot form factor. So I talked about that. I talked about the small form factor ready guidelines.
Right.
This card fits into that guideline.
Look at this. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, that one definitely fits, and I would say for sure. But like, look at just. That's a nice improvement though, man. I mean, for a lot of things, like the case as far as like how it mounts in there, for whatever people, the space that they have, maybe even give people the option to go with a smaller case, because they can, you know what I mean? Like where you'd have to like think, oh man, it's like, what is it? You look at like mini ITX, right? You don't get 8 PCI or 7 PCI Express slots, on a mini ITX case, or even micro, right? They're 3 or 4 slots. So you're kind of like, oh man, like, so that, and we've talked before, you guys know, we've talked on the show about, the width is actually a bigger deal than the length of the card.
And the height is really important.
Yeah, the height too, definitely, for sure.
There's actually something to talk about the height on. If we're just talking about the form factor first, there is something to talk about the height as well. If you notice with the power connector here, it's on the 4080 and actually all the 40 series, it's just a straight up connector, right? So you have to also accommodate the bend for the PCIe cable.
Right.
Which also cuts out compatibility for some of the really small cases. And so I don't know if this comes up on camera, but on the 5090, you can see it's at an angle. So basically it comes off like this. And basically what this all means is that you can fit it into pretty much like the smallest cases.
Yeah, and I think like where it's like at an angle like that, where a lot of people, adapting to the new connector, right? Because we had the same thing, right? People like, new connector, well, who's this? People used to run in like, 3 8-pins off of their graphics card. I mean, this is a huge improvement for me. I mean, comparing to what I had to deal with like 3080, 3090s that run like 3 8-pins. That's a lot of cables. That's a lot of wires to manage and all that. It's definitely a lot cleaner. And we've had some pretty good success with our 3.0 and even now our 3.1 units, with just the security of the cable, the performance and everything for it. So I think it's gone pretty good. And the fact that this is kind of laid back, like you're saying, it takes a lot of the stress off that connector. And I think that's important too.
Yeah, and also if you don't have a power supply that has the connector, the inside the box is also adapter. The adapter will take 4 8-pin connectors.
Yeah,
there was a really cool adapter. I wish I brought it, but it's a cool adapter as well.
You know what? I thought I had one.
It's completely sleeved. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool one. They had some other ones too when they were first doing. There was like a 3-pin. There was a 3 one, and then there was a 4 one, and everything. And yeah, I recommend the 4 for sure, from what I've seen out there. But hey, today we have a beautiful travel case. If you guys didn't see, we've been building this on stream all month long. Kind of showcasing that. So if you guys want to check that out, it's up on the VODs to see about all the builds and everything. But for this one, we wanted to do something a little bit special. I know we had an RTX 5080 in here as far as doing our initial build with this, but Jacob there was just no way I could say no. This guy's like, I got a Founders 5090. He wants to bring it in. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna say no to that, man. So, and this will actually be literally like my first time kind of really experimenting with the 5090. We've done some testing with 5080s, but me personally, this is gonna be kind of like my first experience.
Is fast, man. It's
Dude,
crazy fast. Especially when and we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but especially when you turn on multi-frame gen, it's like the amount of performance you get is like insane. Make sure you have a high refresh rate display. You're gonna need it.
Make sure you go in and set the refresh to the proper setting.
Yeah,
is important too.
Do that first. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have to find out if you can do it, or if you don't know, just go in there, the display settings, you find that thing. Make sure you're not stuck at 60, my friends. That's a really big one that unfortunately a lot of people do kind of get into that part. Unfortunately,
this will do a whole lot higher than 60 FPS. Trust me. So actually, some people may ask, like, how did you get it to dual slot? If it's 575 watts. Well, it's actually a really innovative design. The PCB, unlike a traditional card, the PCB may be like the full length here, or it may be just the first half of the card.
First half, yeah.
Overhang heatsink. On this card, the PCB is actually in the center. There is no PCB here. I can see you guys through this thing.
It's really neat.
There's no PCB here. So there's a PCB in the center. There's basically a ribbon cable that connects this PCI Express connector. There's another PCB for the I/O here. So what you're getting is dual flow through. So both of these fans are basically flowing through this card, which just maximizes the efficiency of the cooler significantly. And that's essentially how it's able to be this size. So yeah.
And I think it offers a lot of different options, as far as we make cases in different configurations where the card, can be more traditional like that. But then we've also done vertical options in multiple ways, right? As far as like positioning the card, everybody likes to just get that nice clean look with it. It's even got some nice little RGB lighting on there and everything like that too.
Lighting on, yeah.
That I saw and everything. But like, I think one of the, when you're looking at as far as like with a card like this, putting this into like the travel case, one of the things that, I was concerned, well, not concerned, but like, thinking about like, how am I going to run the fans? Because this is a small form factor case. So with that, it's only got 2 fans in it. So then you kind of think traditionally, I'm always exhausting off of the radiator. So I'm always running the air through the rad and out the case.
Right.
I think that's a standard most people are used to. But in something like this, where you don't have a separate set of fans like on the bottom or the front back, like you would normally have, you want to kind of consider like, hey, how am I going to make sure I get proper airflow, not just for dissipating the heat off of the rad, but maybe giving the case a little bit too. So that's why I opted for going with the fans in an intake versus an exhaust.
Yeah.
Because I felt that that's going to pull in the cool air from the top, and it actually is going to blow down through the out of the case. And it helps both the CPU as well as the graphics card get a little bit more performance. I don't think it's a make or break deal, but it does actually have a significant improvement, like maybe like 5 or 6 C from just which way the fans on the rad in a case like this, because you're talking about something small where you're just trying to get the best you can out of what.
Yeah, and 5 or 6 C, can be the difference between, because pretty much all modern hardware, graphics cards, CPUs, the performance is basically set by your thermal performance, right? Because they have like GPU boost, or they have automatic basically overclocking that'll maximize the performance based on your thermal capabilities. In the case of the Founders Edition, or really any of the add-in card partners, have all done a really great job. Is the card runs for being 575 watts, it runs pretty cool. Like this card on my system is like under full load is like 74 C or something,
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Considering it's dual slot, 575 watt. That's really good. So.
Because especially for like stock air cooling, water cooling aside, I love water cooling. Any way to drop the temps, my friend.
Water cooling will definitely get it lower.
But you have to do a lot more for that, right? And I would say that I've been pretty impressed with a lot of the cooling, solutions you guys have come up with. Especially with this one, I want to play around with just how much smaller this is in retrospect to what we've experienced with, because I've done a lot of testing with 40 series, more with like the AIBs, if you can understand, MSI, Asus, Zotac, those guys out there for their cards. And it's really interesting to see, because I've seen some pretty high temps, and they're within normal range for what it is, but to be fair, I've seen some that the way they do these coolers, it's really dropped the temps where I'm like, oh, I almost kind of necessarily of like, and I don't want to say this to them, but like, I'm like, I don't necessarily need to water block it, I guess. but I will tell you though, like I've always seen the best yield and performance with a GPU block versus CPU block. Like my CPU block will drop down a little bit, But like, bro, I ran a 3090 for 2 years and it barely saw 60.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just, oh, it's amazing. Water cooling's amazing. But I'm really impressed with what you guys have done, not only with just how you've kept with the demand of the performance that this thing needs. Like this is a serious demand, guys. I mean, and then looking at this one, and not only did they say, hey, we're going to give you more, but we're going to make it smaller too. Is that was like, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it faster, it also tons of new features. PCIe Gen 5, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. We're moving to Gen 5 now.
It's essentially double the theoretical bandwidth of PCIe Gen 4.
Dude.
So it's a brand new PCIe interface. Obviously, you get DLSS 4 on there as well. It's 32 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah, dude, the 32
latest
gigs.
DisplayPort interfaces. So
I've been playing some games that are actually pushing like 20 megs. Or I'm sorry, 20 gigs. 20 gigs of video memory. It's quite interesting when you really start cranking up some of the settings. And I think that's where the DLSS 4s come in, looking at those benefits with that. But hey, what else? Dude, there's just so many cool things to talk about with this card, though. But should we slap this in and
I don't know. What do you think?
Get this going, guys?
Should we plug it in here and see what kind of performance we get?
Do you guys want to see what the 5090 can do in a small form factor case?
Or should I eat this waffle first?
Or should we have our waffles first, guys? What should we do? What should we do?
Leave it up to the chat. That's how you know. That's how you know it's not. That's how you know it's live. Eat first.
Eat first? All right, let me see some waffles in the chat, guys. You want us to enjoy some waffles first? We're a little hungry with all this graphic talk here,
Never game on an empty stomach.
Dude, never game on an empty stomach, dude.
Or benchmark.
Oh yeah, you know, you gotta have, you know, all your performance there. You gotta make sure that your wits are ready for what could happen. You know what I mean? This one's actually this is a buttery maple flavor.
Yeah, it's not bad actually. You know, not sponsored by Eggo, but you know, it's not bad.
I keep sending them emails. They don't reply, Jacob. They don't reply. Oh man. Oh, this is a good waffle. I'm glad we get to share a waffle today with you. So, a lot of improvements there from the 40 series cards. I know you guys joked around, and you know what I'm gonna do right now.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
So,
what is going on with this?
I was showing this to Jacob, right? So I was like, dude, a long time ago, we wanted, you know, the graphic card, they got bigger, right? So we're like, dude, we got to be able to give people an idea of like, what's it gonna look like? Hey, is it gonna fit? Is it gonna go into my case and everything? So, and you guys remember when we made this, and we have our cardboard 4090. We did some fun little adjustments there with that to kind of give people the idea. And again, like we were talking back then, it wasn't necessarily about the length as much, but it was more about the width of the card because we were talking 4-slot graphics and stuff. So we came up with this fun little tool because we couldn't get the card at the time. And actually it was pre-launch stuff. We wanted to give people an idea before it came out.
What kind of performance do you get out of this? In Cyberpunk.
In Cyberpunk, I don't know, you know. The frame generations sadly recycled a little bit too much, so you didn't get as much out of that. I think we'll get a little bit more out of the real deal there.
Let's see how close.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea, dude. That's actually pretty close. Look at all the cardboard pieces.
It's pretty close, man. You almost got it.
You know, we're getting there. You know what I mean? But one of the nice things too is that it's changed a lot for us too, as just a case manufacturer trying to, you know, accommodate for everybody, not just necessarily, you know, motherboard, CPU, you know, everything. Talk about case like, oh, I need ATX or I need micro, mini, and stuff like that. They want a good layout, they want some cooling for it, but I think presentation's a big one. I mean, look at how popular the fish tank cases are that are out there, and I know a lot of people want to see their card, see that hard-earned cash flow in action. I mean, most of the time I'm watching the game that I'm playing, not staring at my PC, but I have my moments.
It's not a dual flow-through design, though.
No, and sadly it doesn't have SLI. I was going to put a little notch on the top there.
It's not even a single flow-through design. it's a no flow-through design.
It's a static, it's a passive flow-through design.
Yeah, so
it's just completely passive.
I like how it has SLI as well, you know?
I miss it. RIP, man. RIP. But hey, you know, not to my wallet though, I will tell you that. Because right now, if we were doing dual or even quad SLI, like we used to play around with back in the day, man, I mean, that got pretty pricey back then too.
I think I had, one of my rigs had 8800 Ultra, I think. And I had 3-way SLI at one point.
You had 3-way?
I never went 4-way SLI. You could do 4-way SLI. I never went to, on my personal rigs, I never did.
We played around with those.
4-way. I've set one up before and played around with it.
We did, remember back when Crisis was out, dude, and we were messing around with those. What was the 295 GX2s?
I remember at the time, like, I'm pretty sure.
And there's the dual PCBs, and we ran 2 of them in quad SLI.
I think the only way to get Crisis at 60 FPS in those times was like at 1600 by 1200.
Oh, jeez.
You had to run 4-way SLI. That was
You had to
like
play Nintendo with your resolution.
That was like the 1600 by 1200, right? 4 by 3. I don't think they had I don't think Crisis. I think pretty sure during that time frame, like most games were 4 by 3.
Man, they still talk about can it still play Crisis. I'm pretty sure somebody's actually said that in the chat. You know, it runs cardboard Crisis. See, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Pig.
You know what's funny? Actually, I just loaded up. So there's a Crisis remastered.
Oh, I heard about it.
And I loaded it up on the 5090 just for funsies to see, and it's like, it's no problem.
Is it really? Yeah, no, I could only imagine.
No problem.
I think I tried to play that game like a couple of years ago, and like from like my old purchase, and for whatever reason it wouldn't load, like it wouldn't work. Like I think I don't know if it's just the way the game was. Well, it had nothing to do with my hardware. It was just like the game was like, oh, you have to like buy it again or something. So I never really got back into it, but I saw the remaster thing.
I had 2 EVJ 290 co-op cards.
Co-op cards.
Yeah, so that's quad SLI. So there was a difference between quad SLI and 4-way SLI. Quad SLI was taking 2 of the dual GPU cards.
Yeah.
And that was quad SLI. But you could also run 4-way SLI, which was literally using 4 graphics
Dude, it
cards.
was wild, right? And then you had 4 PCBs, and like they were like sandwiched 2 and 2. That was some crazy stuff, man.
What kind of power supplies we had to power those things? But
I can't remember either, man. I can't even remember.
I think you needed 1600 watts. Basically.
Like, it's just so insane to see where this has all come from, and then like just the fact, like, I guess you would have thought it would have kept getting bigger and bigger, right?
Well, I mean, like if you look at 4-way SLI, I mean this thing will destroy a 4-way SLI.
Oh, I know, right?
It's like not. It's just
dude.
like, and I mean that wasn't that long ago.
I know. So like the whole like single card, like just get one main single card thing really kind of took over.
Crazy how in the last 10 years or so, you know how much things have progressed. So pretty amazing. That's why we do it.
Now we're at 8K stuff and all that. I've never actually gotten to try stuff like that, but that I would consider like, I mean, the whole like 4K ray tracing thing, as it started out early, it took a big tax on a lot of our systems and everything, but it just been seeing that nice improvement more and more and more.
Yeah, well,
I think we got a good demo to show here too with this that's going to kind of probably blow people's minds.
I think the next step will be, well, I mean, who knows, but there is 5K. Well,
Tell us what's next, Jacob. Tell us.
There's a 5K displays, I think, which will be a pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
8K.
But something between 4 and 8.
With DLSS, you could do 8K on a 5090 with DLSS, but it's still,
You're asking a lot.
You still need some pretty hefty GPU horsepower to do it.
And then, the other thing too is that like, this is a Gen 5 card. So with this being a Gen 5 card, we're still at Gen 4, like on our riser cables, for example. But there are motherboards out there that have Gen 4 or Gen 5, the PCI Express slots, like on the motherboard themselves. And from a lot of my testing, and I think you can definitely clarify this too, I haven't seen a big degradation going with a 4 slot versus a 5 slot. I mean, I guess if you're building a new system, you're going to want to look at 5.
Are you talking about PCI Gen 5?
The PCI Gen 5 in the boards from 4 and 5?
Yeah, for gaming applications, it's a minimal difference today. So you can still get really good performance off PCI Gen 4.
Well.
So yeah, Gen 5 is definitely not required, but
We do have Gen 5 cables in the works, but we needed a card first. So you give us a little bit of time. Give us a little bit of time, but I've actually seen some pretty good performance. I'm not playing. We'll show you guys here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's slap her in there, man. Let's get that bad boy in there.
Those are pretty good.
It's that maple buttery flavor, man.
Yeah.
It just hits the spot on a Wednesday.
You don't even need to add syrup. So it's already ready to go.
It's like pre-syruped. I think it's like amazing.
Pre-syrup. There you go. All right. So
It's pre-syruped.
look how easy that was.
Dude, you got that in. I barely even took one bite of my waffle. You were done. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look how much space, is in here. I mean, there's plenty of space in here still.
Yeah, because like the case will support up to 360 mil in like length, and this back bracket would actually is removable. So like if you did have a card that would maximize that space out, you know it'd go in there. But dude, I got to tell you, there's a lot of breathing room in here for this, and this is a small form factor case, guys. This is not something where, and you know, I'm not trying to say, a big chunkus over here wouldn't fit in there too. It might be a little close on that one, but
I think it would fit.
definitely, I think it would fit too.
Might be a little tight.
Let's get this all set up here.
I mean, you could add this card plus that cardboard card and still be.
Dang, bro, did you hear that? SLI's coming back. Jacob confirmed. Now I want to see one whole Eggo fit in the small form factor. All right, we'll do the Eggo small form factor next, Yoshi. No worries.
Where's the power switch on this thing?
Oh, it's a little button right there in the front. There we go. There we go. Hey, let's go. Let's switch on over. Let's switch on over here. Look, I made a cool little scene so we can all hang out together, guys. We can all hang out and we can bask in the glorious DLSS.
Yeah, should we talk about DLSS actually?
Yeah, do you want me to do you want to talk about those slides and everything? You got some info you want to talk about? Let this boot up here for a minute.
So
let me switch on over here for you.
So I talked about RTX 50 series. There's a whole lot new with RTX 50 series. So the brand new feature for DLSS specifically for 50 series is multi-frame generation. And that is exclusive to 50 series. We'll talk a little bit why and how that works. But if you just look at the entirety of DLSS features, there's a whole lot new. Actually, pretty much every aspect of DLSS 4 is new. So you have multi-frame generation that's available on 50 series. And then you have DLSS frame generation, which was the previous frame generation, which was available on 40 series. It's available on 50 series as well for games that support it. That has a brand new model. So this frame generation model is more efficient, better performance, and lower VRAM usage. So if you have a 40 series card or 50 series card, compared to the previous, we call DLSS 3, compared to the previous DLSS 3 frame generation, it's more efficient. Okay, and then there's a brand new super resolution and ray reconstruction. So we'll start with super resolution. It's the fourth bullet on there. Super resolution, I'm sure most of you are probably very familiar with that. It's in tons of games today.
It's amazing.
Basically, what it does is it renders the game at a lower resolution and then uses AI to essentially upscale it to your native resolution. So it's pretty amazing how it works. And with DLSS Super Resolution, there is a new model available called Transformer Model.
Yeah.
What Transformer Model does is gives you better image quality. In a lot of cases, in some cases, better image quality than even the native TAA output from the game. So with DLSS Transformer, much better image quality, and that's available on all the RTX cards. 20 series, 30 series, 40 series, 50 series.
That's crazy you guys went back that far. I didn't think you would. I thought maybe 40, but I didn't realize you would go back to even like some 30 series stuff to actually add in those performance benefits. We've done stuff on stream after, doing some builds, and we've shown like a game where at default settings I'm at maybe about like 65, 75 FPS, and I've gone in and we've turned on super resolution, and it bumped me to like 140.
Yeah,
like it's a huge change.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, and you have a few different quality settings with DLSS super resolution, like performance, balanced, quality.
Right.
Essentially, you can also get more performance. I mean, primarily Transformer is for image quality.
Right.
But if you think about it, if you were using quality before, you could actually go to performance and get better image quality and better performance.
Right.
So in a way, it actually is unlocking better performance as well.
Yeah. Tevin said in here, he goes, wait, what? My 30 series will see benefits? Dude, it's there. Check it out. It's actually kind of interesting too. And you guys are supporting a lot of games with this too, right?
Yeah, so DLSS 4 is supported in over 75 titles today.
Wow.
And there's going to be more coming all the time very soon as well. But that's super resolution. Also, ray reconstruction also gets similar benefits. So for titles that supports ray reconstruction, that would be like your Alan Wake 2, would be Indiana Jones recently, which got. Have you played Indiana Jones by the way?
I have not.
So
I've wanted to play it, man. Oh my god, I need to get into that.
Play it next Wednesday.
Okay.
Eat a waffle and play it.
I do want to play it. It actually looks good. I was a little kind of hesitant on
Do you
it.
think Indiana Jones likes waffles? Did he ever eat any waffles in any of the?
I'm trying to think about that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch all the movies again. Dang.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love watching Indiana Jones movies.
You're gonna have to zoom in on
I
every.
wonder if he's the. I'm always trying to find some type of movie or something where somebody had something with like whatever it would be, right? Like waffles, pancakes, just some breakfast thing. This is funny stuff. If you guys find anything, let me know, okay? Drop me a link in the Discord and everything. Give me the YouTube video.
What are we talking about again? Oh, yeah. So we're talking about Ray Reconstruction. Alan Wake 2 supports Ray Reconstruction. Indiana Jones supports Ray Reconstruction. I mean, there's tons of titles that support Ray Reconstruction.
There's a lot.
Cyberpunk. So what Ray Reconstruction does is it uses AI to replace the denoiser that's in the game for ray tracing effects. So if you notice, like in some ray tracing games, you may see the ray trace reflection is like a little bit garbly, or maybe it doesn't update very quickly. So what Ray Reconstruction does is targets that and basically improves the image quality for ray tracing.
Nice.
And that gets a new update as well. So that gets updated to Transformer as well. So again, just better image quality. And then finally DLAA, which is stands for Deep Learning Anti-Aliasing.
I haven't gotten to play with this yet.
Yeah, so DLAA, DLAA is useful if you're getting really high FPS in a game and you just want the best image quality.
Right.
So DLAA will give you the best image quality. Essentially what DLAA does, so if you remember what I told you about super resolution, it's taking your native resolution and then it's running it at a lower resolution and then using AI to upscale it, right? So let's say you're at 4K, right?
Right.
Well, actually the game's running at 1080p. But it's using AI to upscale it to 4K. That's how DLSS works.
Oh, okay,
so what
okay.
DLAA does is if you have your game at 4K and you enable DLAA, it renders the game at 4K.
Oh.
So it's still 4K, and then it uses AI-based sampling on top of that, anti-aliasing.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
So it's just the best image quality.
Yeah. Do we have some more stuff? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so again, back to frame generation. So multi-frame generation is what is new with the RTX 50 series, and the reason that it's exclusive to 50 series is because Blackwell is the code name for RTX 50 series. I don't know if it's really a code name, but it's
Is that what they call it? Like a code name? Is that
GPU name, I guess.
GPU name, the family? I don't know.
Yeah, there is actually a dedicated hardware component on Blackwell that's called flip metering. And flip metering is what is responsible for the frame pacing. So when you're generating multiple frames, what's really important is that those frames are delivered consistently. Otherwise, it won't feel good. You may get really high FPS, but it won't feel right. And so so that's what flip metering does on Blackwell. That's why it's able.
Kind of like the smoothness as you kind of come around a corner of something, or you're transitioning from building.
It'll be the
and
smoothness and also how it relates to your inputs and
it flows better. It's hard to explain, I guess, but
yeah, it's something that it's hard to really describe it. It just won't feel right unless you have proper frame pacing.
It's like when you played. It's like when you played that game when it first came out, and you had your hardware for what it was, right? And it was pretty much putting a good load on your graphics card. But then you maybe came back to that game like 5 years later, and you got the new in there, and it just blows it away. And you're just like, wow, everything is just so much better. Kind of like what you're saying, like with Crysis, right? You go to places like it's like a joke now. But like you look at some games like. And I've done that a lot too, where I've played a game, maybe a couple years back, and then, I upgraded or whatever, and I go, hey, I wonder what that's doing now. And then you go and you're like, dang, bro, I got like so much more improvement with it. So
yeah, so with multi-frame generation, what it's doing is taking one rendered frame and then using AI to essentially generate 3 frames. So it's significantly more performance, basically.
I like that buffer though. That's nice.
Yeah, it uses a lot of tech on the card and
or flip metering. Flip metering.
I
got it. That's gonna be a new. That's one I have to.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to Google that one a little bit and see what flip metering's all about. That's a great name. That's interesting how that comes up like that. It's kind of like. I don't know. Flip metering.
It's like when you flip do you flip waffles? No, really, you flip pancakes.
Yeah, you flip pancakes, but you don't flip. Yeah, waffles don't get flipped. I mean, I guess they get turned sometimes, but they don't get as flipped off. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Sorry, I tried to tie it to waffles or something. couldn't do it.
Did we have another
yeah,
one?
There's another one.
There's another one here?
You can flip to another one there, and then this is what the performance looks like with multi-frame gen. So you can see DLSS off. You know, that's DLSS off, including no super resolution. And then when we go to DLSS 3, it's significantly more performance. And then with DLSS 4 multi-frame generation, it's pretty insane the amount of performance you get. In fact, in pretty much all titles with DLSS 4 multi-frame generation at 4K, you are over 200 FPS.
Oh my god.
With like
4K at
maxed
4K.
out, like path tracing, everything.
Dude.
Yes.
And you know, I got to see a little bit of what Cyberpunk had to do. I mean, when we were setting this up, right, I was doing some initial testing on it, and I kind of ran it stock, you know, just out of the box, like just the default settings that's set there by the game, right? And I was like, oh man, I was like, my performance, like my FPS was maybe about like 120 average on a 5080.
Yeah.
And then when I went in and started enabling all these features, my FPS literally tripled. I was over like 360, and I think we'll be able to show that today.
Oh yeah.
Those improvements. I mean, it's such a difference to see. Like what Jacob was saying is just like that smooth transitioning as far as you're going through. It's a benchmarker for gameplay and stuff. I mean, it looks really neat.
So a couple questions: is 2-slot design limited to the 5090 Founders Edition, or to all 50 Series Founders Editions? Do all the 50 Series FE cards are 2-slot? So all of the Founders Edition cards. For 50 series are 2 slots. Actually, this card here is the biggest Founders card.
Okay.
The 5070 in particular is it's really
It's even smaller,
it's
right?
really
But that's good though, right? We don't, you know, it gives more versatility for
I mean,
people.
you don't really need, you know, it's a lower power card. You know, it doesn't need all that cooling.
Yeah.
But you know, there's going to be plenty of different options from all the add-in card partners. I think you had a 5080, right, that you looked at before.
Yeah.
They're going to be different sizes, different form factors. Some may be 2 slots, some may be 3 slots, some may be 3 fans or more. With different features and different cooling. So yeah, there'll be a wide variety of different options.
Dude, I'm just loving that card in there, man. It's got so much room. I really was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I just couldn't picture that it was going to be that small. Like it's the width specifically, I think, that really kind of shines a lot on that. Let's jump over to our system, see how everything's
so
going.
Today we have somebody mentioned 5070 Ti. So yeah, today we have the RTX 5090, we have the 5080, there's a 5070 Ti also. There's no Founders Edition for the 5070 Ti, but there's plenty of options from all the different board partners. And then we have a 5070 that will be released very soon.
Yeah, that's coming. That's like right around the corner. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that's
very
right
soon.
around the corner. So, and that'll be kind of interesting to see where all that's kind of fit in, you know, price point wise and everything like that. We all hope you guys get more stock soon. You know, I mean, we know it's not the first time this has happened, guys. I mean, and it's not only Nvidia either. It's definitely been variety of stuff. I mean, even for us, I mean, dude, we don't make graphics cards, but sometimes we have just a new case come out and it sells out. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? I mean, you know, a lot of power supplies. I've definitely seen those.
A lot of people were anticipating these cards, holding off their builds to build new systems, you know, with the new series, of course.
We love to plan, man. We love to, us enthusiasts, we love to plan for that.
The demand is huge, but
Yeah.
we're working on it. Yep.
We'll get them. I know we'll get them and everything, and I know a lot of people are out there gonna. Well, we got a question here. It says, so how does the 50 series compare with the AMD 90 series that just dropped? Tell me why I should buy the 50 over the AMD. Well, I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of videos that are going to be coming out. I would definitely always say reference from what different media are going to do. They're going to pick their little topics that they want to do. Comparison's always important when making a purchase, but you know, maybe you could fall.
I mean, obviously, I can't compare it to like how the competitor or anything like that.
Right.
But I can definitely tell you, you know, the features that the RTX 50 series are pretty significant. You know, it's not just performance; it's image quality, and there's a whole lot of other features as well. That's really
Driver's important. The software is important. It's not just necessarily the hardware of the card. Kind of adds all up there. But yeah, do some research. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out. Stuff's already come out, and wait for those comparison
we got
videos.
Another important question here: when are we doing waffles? I'm watching only, can't hear.
I'm watching only, can't hear. Okay, Shadow, we'll be doing waffles here pretty soon. I'm sorry that I can't sign language that to you because you said you can't hear me. So
Put it in the chat, somebody.
I guess.
Put it in the chat.
All right, let's see. Waffles soon. TM. Just kidding. We got, let me see, we got, how much time do we got? We got 45 minutes.
Yeah.
45 minutes on the waffle. All right. So there, that way you can know. We got about 45 minutes for our giveaway. You guys.
Is this the system right here?
Yeah. This is our system right here.
So this is the system with the 5090. Can we make this bigger?
Well, I mean, I could go to say like something.
I mean,
like
for me.
Oh, for you to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
Okay.
do this. Let me. Can I? Oh, because the way the feed goes, right? Let me just switch it over this way.
Okay. Yeah. There we
Here,
go.
I'll switch it over that way. There. Then you just get full screen.
Alright, so I just wanted to.
We'll take us out of it. It's no big.
I wanted to highlight one thing here.
Oh, in the NVIDIA app, yeah.
So somebody asked about, I saw one of the questions that said something to the effect of, how do you enable these new features in the games? So it's going to depend on the game. In the case of Cyberpunk, which we're going to be looking at today, Cyberpunk actually has these new features built into the game. So you can set all of those features basically in the game settings.
Okay.
Some of the other titles, and actually there's a, is Yoshi in the chat? Maybe Yoshi can link it. Apologize, Yoshi, for putting you on the spot. There is a page on NVIDIA site which will detail the supported games and also how you enable it.
Okay.
So in other games, you may need to enable it through the NVIDIA app. So the NVIDIA app, if you aren't familiar, is basically the replacement for GeForce Experience. So GeForce Experience is rest in peace. It's gone.
I love the new app, to be fair. I gotta admit, I love the new app, to be fair.
So GeForce Experience replaced NVIDIA app, but it's better in almost every way. It's quicker, it has new features. It has a new feature called RTX HDR, actually, which is really cool. If you have an HDR display and you play a game that doesn't have HDR, you can basically enable HDR.
You can just enable HDR.
it's
You
called
can just tell the
RTX
monitor, sorry, we're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
That's
No, you
nice.
tell the game, sorry.
Or you tell the game, sorry, we're gonna do it anyways. That's great.
Anyways.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so the way that you do it in other games is...
Oh, here, let me go back. We'll go back here real quick. Sorry, it's hard to see for us.
Yeah, so in games that Cyberpunk has support, but in games that don't have support, if it has support through NVIDIA app, you basically do it through the NVIDIA app. So you'll be able to set the frame generation override. You can set 4x or 3x. You can also set super resolution. Oh, not here. You can set super resolution right here. So you can set the latest model, which will give you the latest super resolution model, which is Transformer with all the image quality.
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
Somebody also mentioned, like, why would you want to do 3x instead of 4x?
That's a good question.
It comes down to your monitor's refresh rate.
Ah.
So basically, if you don't have a 240 hertz display, you'd probably want to do not do 4x.
Oh, okay.
I
A
mean,
240 hertz display, really?
Yeah, I mean, most games are going to be over 250 with 4x. I mean, you can definitely, but you kind of want to target your refresh rate because if you're generating frames over your monitor's refresh rate, you're not going to really see the benefit.
I got like a 165 at home, so I can understand.
Your FPS will go higher.
Yeah.
But I mean, you won't see those generated frames. So it's best to target your monitor's refresh rate. The other thing you could do is just maximize the quality settings to try to fit into your monitor's refresh rate. So if you have like 165 hertz, maybe you'd want to enable DLAA, for example, to try to lower the FPS to get the better image quality, but still within 165 FPS. So that's why that option.
It's just like a better version of VSync. It's just like more and more like, as far as like when you're in that sweet spot of like the 90 to 120 range FPS and all that stuff, and you just want everything to be just butter smooth, right? Like, I mean, that's what's important and stuff. But then, yeah, like you said, like with the FPS and going over, I mean, like I'm a pretty firm believer you can't see past like 160, like if I got 200 or whatever. But I can definitely tell you I see a difference between like 90 and 120.
I would say between 90 to 120, the difference is certainly more apparent.
Yeah.
I would say, at least for most people. Like above 160 hertz, I mean, it's going to depend. Some people are going to be able to see it.
You need somebody like Shroud to do that.
But I will say the one thing that makes it more noticeable is like once you get used to like 240 hertz, and then you go back, then it's more.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like you get familiar with it, and then you go and you're like sometimes when we go to these shows, right?
Yeah.
And then they got that on display, and they got the new monitor, and you go and you play it, and you're like, whoa, that really is a difference because you're used to what you have at
Yeah,
home.
right. It's the same with like 120 hertz. Like, yeah, 60 to 120 hertz when you first upgrade, yeah, it's a big difference. But when you really feel the pain, is when you get like super used to 120 hertz, and then you go to 60, and it's like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like-
or like, you want to have the improvements. Like you had good FPS, but then now you want the eye candy, but then the eye candy took away that FPS from you. So you're kind of like in your own personal argument with yourself going like, do I want it to look better and deal with it maybe running a little bit slower? Or like, do I want to just figure out if I need to buy a whole new PC right now because I just demand it? You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough out there, but I think, dude, I've seen so many improvements with this. Even, with some of the games that I've been playing both at home, because I've been, messing around with that. I've been seeing those new options, within certain games. But Cyberpunk really changed a lot for me. I was really impressed.
Cyberpunk is
The benefits that it has.
Cyberpunk is one of the most graphically demanding games. I mean, it looks amazing.
Dude.
I would say Cyberpunk, Indiana Jones, Alan Wake 2 are a few of the.
Alan Wake 2, man,
most,
that's a good game.
Demanding games.
Yeah.
And what's amazing with the 50 series with multi-frame gen is you could crank on all those settings, fully ray tracing, path tracing, and it's still over 200 FPS.
And it's but it makes you feel good though, right? Like it's like I got headroom so that like, and you guys know this too, right? You can be like, yeah, I got high FPS, but you're looking at the floor or you're staring at a wall and you get like crazy FPS. But when you're actually in an environment, or maybe it's like a game where, it's like a big town and there's just a lot of things going on, you start to see a little bit of that drop. Those benefits really help you because you got that little extra headroom right there where your experience isn't going to be affected as much, as stuff changes. Because we've all seen that, if I'm looking at something like if I look at the wall versus the sky, for whatever game it might be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and you see those, and that's where you kind of figure out yourself, like, hey, where's my card gonna sit in here? Like performance and kind of tweak around the settings, and it's a lot of fun for me. I like playing with the new tech.
Black Myth Wukong is another one that's.
That game looks beautiful.
When you max it out, it looks pretty amazing. All right.
Visuals with
You
that's
ready to
really
try
good.
this?
Yeah. Yeah, let's. Or I'll switch it back over here, and then we'll go back.
All right. Where is it at? Is it on Steam?
Yeah, I think you can just double click the Cyberpunk. Yeah, there you go.
All right,
Share
so we
everybody
got
my
we
Steam
got
key.
the FPS counter up there, so you should be able to see that as well.
Oh, and by the way, I really like that cool little filtering thing you guys added in there too. We actually played around with that in some screenshots we took while we were gaming, and it's actually kind of neat. Like some of those added options, it's all kind of bundled in per se.
You're talking about when you take screenshots in games.
And yeah, and then you have the filters that you can kind of, dude, it's
you can
really neat.
customize it, yeah.
It's really neat that you can customize that.
People who know me well know that I am a sucker for screenshot modes in games and taking screenshots and posting them on Twitter over and over and over.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that kind of stuff.
No, me too, man. Me too. It's really good stuff. I fixed it. I'm making sure the audio is not blowing you guys out of the way. So let me know if the audio is getting loud here or anything but like that. But we should be pretty good.
The problem that I have is Twitter only allows you to post 4 screenshots, and I have way more than 4 screenshots that I would like to post. So I always got to pick 4, and sadly, some of them have to be be
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you're doing like the comparison
It
stuff.
makes me sad. It makes me sad. That's okay. All right, so here is Cyberpunk. So let me show you what I was talking about. So actually, for this stream, we're running it at 1440p, which on this card, I mean,
It's gonna laugh at 1440p.
that's like a piece of cake for a 5090. But we'll see what kind of performance we'll get. So here's what I was talking about. You can enable it in the game. So you can see here, we have the option for transformer model. You can also go back to the convoluted, I can't even read that, but
Sorry.
CNN is what we usually call it.
It's really funny that it's CNN, by the way, because of the news network and stuff.
You have CNN and you have transformer model. It's just way easier to say CNN.
Here, there. That way it's a little bit. Everybody else can see a little bit better. While we're going through the settings and stuff.
Convolutional neural network.
Convolutional. Yeah.
Which was basically the previous DLSS. So transformer model is the new one. It's trust me, it is significantly better image quality.
Interesting.
Transformer So we have ray reconstruction on. I talked about that as well. This also gets transformer model as well. Better image quality there. We are running frame generation. You can set your multi-frame gen mode in here.
But can it run Crisis?
Is there an MSNBC model as well?
No.
So we have it at 4x multi-frame gen. Like I said, you can do 3x or you can do 2x as well. 2x was the previous DLSS,
Right.
which was DLSS 3. So of course we got path tracing enabled.
That's huge. Path tracing is huge improvement.
So we got it's pretty much maxed out. Oh, should we enable the hidden setting? If you guys didn't know,
Oh, the hitting set. I forgot about that.
there is a secret setting in here. It's not really secret, but where's that at? It's this one, I think.
Psycho?
Psycho. There you go. I think it's only that one, right?
I think it is.
So-
The screen space one, yeah.
So basically, this is high as it goes.
You can't go any crazier.
So
And look, we have 300 FPS right now in the menu.
oh yeah, 320 FPS in the mini. So should we run a benchmark and see what we get?
Let's do it. And I'll pop back here while I got the benchmark going.
Let's see what it goes, what it does.
This is pretty interesting stuff.
Let's see if I missed a question there. Convolutional waffles. Yeah, so Transformer model DLSS is on RTX 20 series, it's on 30 series, it's on 40 series, and it's on 50 series. It's on all of them. Check that out. That is, I can't read that FPS. Oh, it's like almost at 400
Dude, it's like 400. It's 370 right now. Look at that. But I think the thing too is like, and I've run this benchmark a few times, and you know, different experiences, but just the smoothness of this when you're going around the corners, especially when it goes outside and you have the lighting from the sunlight, right? And just all that, like just and the closeness too. I think the one thing that really catches my eye is when you got an object that goes right past your face. Like it'd be something that go like right past your head, and you would see normally like a jitteriness with that where you don't see that here. But yeah, this is like a 390, 408. Well, this is probably going to beat what we had last time for some reason. Well, I was, yeah, I mean, I did do some testing with a 5080, but still, like,
Yeah.
this is pretty
5080
cool.
with multi-frame gen is still a really fast card. I mean, the 5090 is like a whole nother level.
But like stuff like that, right, where the light bleed's coming through the trees and everything. It's just 382.
There you
That's our new record right there.
World record, 300.
I know, right?
Yes.
But that is a lot of improvements. And I'll tell you that when I first ran this test, when I was setting the system up, because we got it built last week and everything, I mean, like I was saying, these improvements almost tripled the FPS from what I saw, like, out of the box. Like, if you didn't know about this, you know, you bought all this stuff, you get all this stuff, you put it in, but if you don't know about the settings, well, now you know. You should go in there and take a look at some of these things Jacob's been talking about, because it could make or break your experience.
Yeah, like I said, if you're on an RTX card, I mean, definitely try out Transformer model. There is a tiny little performance hit if you're on like an RTX 20 or 30 series, but the less so much on the 40 and 50 series. But the quality improvement is significant with DLSS Transformer. And like I said before, if you were previously using DLSS quality, you can actually go to DLSS performance and still get better image quality. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend to use Transformer if the game supports it.
And remind me again, Transformer, the DLSS, it's supported on 50 series, of course, but also 40,
40, 30, 20.
43, and 20. So 2080 Ti.
2060 can do.
2060 can do. Are you serious? Dude, I almost kind of want to find a 2060 card just to see.
I don't think I have one. Yeah.
That'd be kind of, that's going back. I might have a 2080 or a 2080 Ti around, but just thinking like 3070, 3080, I mean, it was a beast of a card back then, and now you're kind of giving it a little bit, you know, you're giving it some extra life there.
Somebody said, it is a DLSS option in game. Oh, is it a DLSS option in game? So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's going to depend on the game. Did Yoshi put that link in the chat? I don't remember.
I don't think I think I do, but I don't know if he had the appropriate rights for that.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
But,
there's a page on the GeForce site where it will.
Let's look it up.
Where it's basically you can search for the game and how to enable it.
Okay. What's it? Where am I going?
GeForce.com. Click on the. Click on news.
Cup.
and then the top right one, where it says DLSS 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay, like right here.
That one. Scroll down.
Here, let me switch over so everybody else can see too.
Scroll down. More. Keep going. Yeah, by the way, this page has a lot of information about DLSS.
Wow.
If you want.
Oh, these are the games,
Okay.
right?
No, go down more.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
Click there.
Oh, head here. See, look, it was highlighted. Guys. Look,
Yeah.
look at the report.
All right, so if you go to this page here, scroll down.
Okay.
So keep going. So this will tell you how to enable a lot of what we talked about. Keep going down.
Okay.
Here's all the titles.
Oh.
So basically, you can sort these as well. It'll tell you which game has it natively integrated, like Cyberpunk has it natively integrated. It'll tell you which game you need to use the NVIDIA app to override it. We call it DLSS override. So it'll tell you basically how to do it.
I like overriding things and overclocking. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You got me sold on that one. The NVT, what NVT?
Transformer.
Transformer. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's got
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Yeah,
There's a
so-
lot of stuff in here. Did I see Adobe Photoshop too? Yeah, Premiere's in there too. Sweet.
Yeah, it's basically all titles and what level
so
of DLSS it supports.
Dude, there's so much in here.
Not all of these support Transformer, but a significant amount. Like I said, over 75 support frame gen.
Yeah, this is like, look, I had to click this. I wasn't gonna scroll the wheel. Look at that. This page is like 2 miles long, Jacob.
Yep, 2 miles.
It's literally like
2 miles in HTML format.
it's a lot of lines. A lot of lines of code. It's a lot of lines of code.
Basically, what he was saying is that if you print out that page and then you lay all the pages, it'll be 2 miles.
Yeah, it would wrap around the world at least once.
Yep.
No, but that's cool. I mean,
That's about 2 miles.
I would say that, but you know, to be fair, it's not easy working with all these different game manufacturers, or you know, just the game developers, right? And getting that many games to, you know, to be able to support that. I mean, there's got to be a lot of
And there's-
communication.
there's-
Everybody's got to be different.
There's more coming all the time. In fact, there's a bunch of new titles coming. One of the ones that I'm most excited about is, there's a lot of titles I'm excited about, but one of the ones I'm most excited about is Doom: The Dark Ages. I am such a huge fan of
me too.
all the Doom games, all of them. Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal. So Doom: The Dark Ages coming out soon. Supports DLSS frame gen, multi-frame gen, supports Transformer, all the good stuff.
You guys are gonna have all that stuff. I'm pretty sure you guys will have when the new one comes out, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait, dude. Rip and tear until it is done.
So yeah, here's Cyberpunk 2077. Uh-oh, I was gonna jump down there. It's probably not advised. So what kind of FPS are we getting up there? 4?
Here, we'll go big screen here. 435 FPS.
You can also see my other GPU information up there. You can see the GPU temperature. I mean, there's like, oops.
Is that's wattage that's right there?
Oh, cool, I'm dead.
Oh no. But 440 watts. Now that's the card, right? As far as what the card's pulling.
Card, yes. So you have your GPU utilization, CPU utilization, your latency as well, and your wattage and your temperatures.
I've been using the FPS thing a lot actually with the new app since it came out, where I would do it like with a third-party app, like with something else. Oh, sorry, that was my bad. Because where I saved it, I died right there, so it spawns me right there where the barricade is.
Nice, yeah.
So go the other way.
Got it.
It's my bad.
All right, so this is again, this is with full ray tracing. Full ray tracing is the same as you may see it in some games as path tracing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the highest level of ray tracing that's available in the games.
And I mean, dude, we're at 70C right now. I mean, this thing is chill. That's great temp for me. I mean, it's at 400 FPS, which yeah, I know it's a little laughable, but you know, I like headroom, and this is maxed out. This is not just like, you know, I forgot about those like butt ad things. I forgot about a lot of this stuff in this game. But this game, I can't believe how much it's changed since it came out, and how like a lot of those details kind of you know, kept improving. They added new stuff. Then you guys, you know, supported all that. So you know, are we gonna have another batch like maybe newer games or other things to maybe expect? I know I didn't really kind of ask you that ahead of time, but I mean, I get if there, you know, you can't say too much about it, but what's next, I guess, for gaming in DLSS 4?
Yeah, well, I mean, DLSS is one of the cool things about DLSS is it's continually getting better and smarter, and you know, Transformer is like one example of that. But you know, it's going to continue to get better quality, better performance.
So like we can expect updates to maybe, you know, improve, optimize efficiency of like how it works, and or just more support.
The same spot that I was trying to get away from.
Maybe, but that's okay. You're still alive. Didn't die.
Yeah.
Helldiver rules. You didn't die.
You can expect it to get continually better. I mean, it's been that way since DLSS came out, and I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. In terms of games, Doom: The Dark Ages is a huge one. That's going to have a full ray tracing. It's going to have DLSS 4. You know, it's going to be a pretty awesome showpiece. And there should be a lot more announcements coming soon from NVIDIA and GeForce. GDC, which is a game developers conference, is right around the corner. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be in March, around mid-March. So I'm sure you may hear some more stuff around that time frame.
I'm just letting everybody know there's about 20 minutes left on the waffle. 20 minutes left on the waffle. We got something special in store for you guys here today with our special guest, Jacob. You know, talking all kinds of, I love talking about the new stuff, all the new stuff, man, and just getting to see, you know, what it is. I mean, no, I'm using this at home. I'm not just, you know, demoing this there. And I've already seen those improvements. I have a 4080 at home. It's been a great card for me, and now I got some more stuff to play with. Yeah. You know, I really like the new app. I like the direction you guys have gone, you know, with the app and everything versus
so the
GeForce Experience.
We only touched on a little bit of the new features. I mean, it has a whole bunch of new features. The overlay, which you see on the top right-hand corner, is brand new. You can, let's see, you're using a capture piece. Yeah, so you can see this. So you can, you have a lot more customizability over, the sizing, the positioning. So like, for example, you can do this before.
I like that you could, you can move it around now.
You can place it basically anywhere. Oops, not there. This one here. You also have options on like the size, the color of it, the background opacity if you want it to make it a little bit more, not stand out as much.
And there's other modes too, like with how this works, right? Like as far as like you could turn on other things if you wanted to see.
Yeah, you can.
There's like 17 things. There's a ton of stuff in here.
Yeah, you can turn on a bunch of different options here. You know, we're just showing the FPS and a few.
Well, like if you want to add like the fan speed,
you can turn on your GPU clocks, your VRAM clocks, your fan speeds.
Right. To see if you're getting the, you know, your appropriate boost clocks and stuff like that, and just, you know, it's a nice little like just reassurance, right? Just a little check. And I think a lot of people do this stuff more or less, you know, when they first build the system, and you know they're kind of playing around with it, just kind of seeing where everything's, you know, kind of sitting at. And just kind of get an idea of what's going to work on, you know? Because maybe I got a little bit more headroom there, and I'm going to make some adjustments with my settings, and then this, you know, just like with other stuff, but I like how it's just built in. Yeah. It's nice that it's just all built in now. Got some good stuff going on.
What's our GPU clock at? 2.7 gigahertz?
Yeah, 2.7.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about right around where you should expect.
And what the megahertz? That's what's the 14K?
Memory.
Memory, right? Okay. Yeah, you're getting some good GPU utilization. It's still just chilling right around 70, 72, man. And I got to tell you guys too, I've adjusted the mic because I got, you know, Jacob here on the stream and everything, and the card is quiet. I got to say, I was really curious how, if that fan was going to ramp up to, you know what, like, like just, you know what I mean? Like, because it's a smaller card. I know people think about that kind of stuff. They go, well, they're going to have to make up for it somewhere, Jacob, right? And I could see people thinking like, you know, hey, maybe that fan is going to spin at some crazy RPMs where it might be a little loud.
Yeah, I mean, considering it's a dual slot card, I mean, it's probably not going to be the